Hello everyone, this is BURNsit and welcome to Game 2 of Danger vs Orcust Phantom Knights between my buddy Sean and myself. As you can see, I have activated Max C. The reason why I decided to activate Max C was the first draw was really bad. As you can see, Scrap Golem was in my hands. So I wanted to get get rid of it, perhaps with hoping for a Jet Synchron to be in the graveyard sooner or later, which did not happen actually. So he activated a card which allowed me to just dump all the first draws, which was really good. I started drawing into good cards, and unfortunately with now Max C being activated and still rolling on his turn, I began drawing into more cards, and as the gameplay, dumping that, discarding that one card, drawing that one card, the whole danger combo or package thing that it rolls. So the goal was to dump as many Orcus and Will one into the graveyard. So at that point, in my head was to do that. I need Orcus in the graveyard. That saves me the trouble of getting them out instead of normal summoning, because I do not have cards that can dump my hands at that point. So it's good that Orcus are being in the graveyard. As you can see, Will 1 is now in the graveyard, so on the table I could link into Leap. Unfortunately, again, Golem is in the graveyard, which we will come further on to the last play, which I make a huge misplay that of bringing Golem back with Wyvern, because Golem is in the graveyard and not the deck, which is impossible. I believe the correct play would be if I had a Raptor in the graveyard, which I believe I do. I could bring Raptor instead of Golem. So Scrap Wyvern destroying the recycler, and then will trigger its effect to bring in Raptor again. So Raptor will then not be able to bring in recycler, but again we will come to that towards the end of the point. So there will be a misplay ahead. So here we still see it's going. I put an Ash down to stop a card, but it doesn't do anything because apparently I stopped the wrong card, and now he's still going on. And as you can see, I keep pulling this one card from his hand. I do not know why. I keep pulling the center card, and that card keeps being this one card from that hand, and I do not know what is happening. So here he linked into Yugioh, a beautiful and amazing card. It's my first time seeing it on that day, and you see Sean is here explaining to me what he's doing. He's drawing, and I myself am not doing an annoying shuffling. I myself am actually counting the cards in my hand and figuring out what am I going to do. I'm also counting the cards in his graveyard and looking what he has in the graveyard. At this point, I did look at my graveyard and count the cards in my graveyard too. Again, I have I'm playing 50 cards, so I have to be really mindful. And he put down an Avarice, bringing back 5 cards into the deck. So after the first pot of Avarice, it's worrying because you are starting to think, or I am starting to think, whether is it possible to counter this at this point. There are a few ways to play, using the Wyvern thing, allowing to destroy a card, and if I could get into Leap, Leap will allow me to shuffle, and obviously Masquerena into Unicorn allows me to do that. Obviously I am also playing Pain Gainer and 7 Scenes, so from there, Galatea to Dengersu, attach a card from Pain Gainer, from 7 Scenes, with a 4000 attack, and hopefully to live through that round so that I could discard and blow up the field of any special summon, but which I did not do in this round, unfortunately. So here you see a DD Crow. I did it one card also. Unfortunately, I did it also just to get one card out of my hand. I needed to just clear cards out of my hands right now, because at, I believe, midpoint through the game, I started drawing into cards which I should not draw. So that is very dangerous at that point. That if I couldn't even start playing, and then that would be an issue, which is definitely, scrap Orcust definitely has two ways. You go the scrap way or the Orcust way. Obviously, if you can go into the Orcust way to bait them, would be nice. Scrap way is always nice too. And at this point, you're praying that you're gonna get Feather Duster, and I believe if you saw, there's Mystical Space Typhoon. I have two Mystical Space Typhoon in this deck, so I am also looking at that back row very carefully. That I need to break the back row first, then I can break his front. And here we see Firewall Dragon on the field. Masquerena is still not going anywhere, because it's gonna be on my turn, and I myself carry I do not carry Droll and Lock as of this moment, but I do carry what is that, Pankratops at some point, which I use. So unfortunately, without Draw and Lock, I cannot lock him out from drawing. So the game is continuing, and here he formed into Abyss Dweller. My eyes were on that card from then on, because that could be an issue for me. And as you see, I believe I drawn into Ash. No, I do not have Effect Veiler, and obviously I cannot use Ash again since it's one per turn. And at one point I drew into Monster Reborn, so there is hope at some point that Monster Reborn is in my field. So Sean has been playing with me on the Scrap Orcust even before the adding in the Phantom Knights, so he very much knows how the deck will play, how the deck can be stopped. It's about just trying to bypass that and hoping to go. And I believe this was Nightmare Griffin, and as you can see, Monster Reborn was drawn into my hand. So Nightmare Griffin, I believe, stops me from special summoning or some kind of card effects. So from that point, I look away from Abyss Dweller. I am now looking at that Nightmare Griffin, and here I'm going to infinite that Nightmare Griffin. I believe it's Nightmare Griffin. If it's not, do forgive me. So here, Mystical Space Typhoon is going to come down, and we see that Imperial Order activating to negate everything. So here I'm going to put another Mystical Space Typhoon, and here we have our buddy Kelvin to help us with the assisting of the chaining, and here he activated another trap card. So at this point I'm like, okay, Imperial Order got to go. With Imperial Order going, spell cards are alright. Babel can be on the field. Fog Blade can be activated. So now Imperial Order is gone. That trap card, not sure what it does again. I totally forgot. So I got my Feather Duster, clearing that last trap card. Alright, back row is done. So we're gonna go into Pankratops. Pankratops will activate, and he is now going to activate Masquerena. So my goal was to actually use Pankratops destroy itself to destroy Griffin at this point. So he's going to link away Griffin, so Griffin is no longer there, its effect is no longer there. And I believe I just destroyed that last card over there. So we still got Firewall and Abyss Dweller. He linked into Apollosa with 3 counts. So I go into Recycler right off this moment. Look at the amount of cards in my hands. Yeah, hands as of now, I can't even hold them in one hand. So here I put down Relator. We're going to scrap Wyvern, and obviously Sean knows very well he's going to negate that Wyvern, and I'm going to Monster Reborn into Golem. And here, hoping Golem to bring back Recycler, and no, he's going to stop Golem also. So frustrating at this point, but let's try playing through it. So we're gonna go half horror, and half horror is gonna be start 2. So World 1 will go and activate, allowing me to form into Galatea. So this is where it all began. That Nightmare is being activated. So I dump Brass. I needed to use Brass because Gursu is in my hand, but he stopped it, so Apollosa is down to 0. And so I banished the Silent Boots as of now, and got my 2 Fog Blades. So now the Gursu I didn't attach. I needed to throw a card back, so I decided to send Firewall, and then we go through the whole attack thing at this point, and it goes into Sean's turn. So I'm a little bit worried at this point because Wyvern and Dingersu on the field, not exactly the strongest board, and again because using Dingersu's second effect, I cannot go into 7 scenes. So at this point, I'm going to activate Scrap Wyvern. No, I'm sorry, it's still his turn, so he's going to destroy Dingersu, fine by me. I'm going to summon up Gursu. As mentioned, Gursu was in my hands. And then I'm going to go into Symbol Skeleton to bring back Galatea. We are now going to approach the huge misplay of the scrap side. So Wyvern brings in Recycler and destroys the Recycler. And Golem cannot be on the field because Golem is already in the graveyard. Because Wyvern is supposed to bring a scrap monster from the deck. So Wyvern could have brought in maybe a Raptor from the deck, and at that point can I still go into Unicorn? Yes, I could. I would use Wyvern to link with the Raptor or with Gursu to form Unicorn. We throw the card back, and now with Parallel Exit in my hands, it's gonna be triggered, it's gonna come out, and somehow there's one more Parallel Exit in my deck. Definitely a huge misplay on my part, especially for the scrap side. I do apologize for that. And the game ends at this point. If you're ever within the neighborhood, we are at Dice and Brushes. Come and have some fun with us.